गुरुर्ब्रह्मा गुरुर्विष्णुः गुरुर्देवो महेश्वरः गुरुर्साक्षात् परं ब्रह्मात् तस्मै श्री गुरवे नमः। स्थावरं जङ्गमं व्याप्तं येन चराचरं तत्पदं दर्शितं येन तस्मै श्री गुरवे नमः। अज्ञानिनातिमिरान्धस्य ज्ञानाञ्जनशलाकया चक्षुरुन्मीलितं येन तस्मै श्रीगुरवे नमः। असतो मा सत्गमया तमसो मा ज्योतिर्गमया मृत्योर्मा अमृतं गमया। ॐ शान्ति शान्ति शान्तिः। अस्य श्रीशुद्धशक्तिमाला महामन्त्रस्य उपस्थ इन्द्रियादिवरुण आदित्य ऋषिः दैवी गायत्री छन्दः सात्विककत्कार भट्टारिकपीठस्थित श्रीमत्कामेश्वराङ्कनिलया श्रीमत्कामेश्वरी देवता। ऐं बीजं क्लीं शक्तिः सौः कीलकं श्रीदेवी खड्गसिद्ध्यर्थे जपे विनियोगः। ॐ शान्ति शान्ति शान्तिः। I bow down to Guru, Paramaguru, Paratpara Guru, Parapara Guru, Parapara Guru, Parameshthi Guru. Bow down in peace, peace. Oh. Namaste, ladies and gentlemen. In my previous video, I was talking about the very aspects of karmic deeds and the other very important points pertaining to Natya Shastra or 108 Karnas, talking about the meditative aspects, touching upon 108 yoga nakshatras as per astrology, 108 nakshatras as per yoga. Let's take the subject much further. Before even getting down to the subject, let me be honest with myself and from the subjective and objective front too. Whatever that I speak is just my assumption. That doesn't mean it's a conclusive statement. I would really appreciate the viewers, listeners to do that double check in case if there are any kind of mistakes. Please do let me know over the comments as well as drop a message to my WhatsApp number so that I could correct. I am also a human being and I do commit mistakes. That's my humble and humble request. Right. To start with, as I was speaking, we have 27 nakshatras as per yoga, 27 nakshatras as per astrology, which I have explained in my previous videos if you go through. Now, all are divided into 4 months respectively. Though one needs to understand previous birth karmic deeds will always follow through, ladies and gentlemen. Keep this in view. Just because you are performing classical dance or performing 108 karnas doesn't mean they actually neutralize the effect. No. It just gives you that soothing effect in the sense like, you know, it just like acts as a, you know, painkiller, reduces the pain. Still, you need to have that, have that pain in your mind. As I said, nakshatras and yoga nakshatras. They're 27 into 4, 108 plus 108, 260. Now, one needs to understand some of them are reachable, some of them are not reachable. Or some of them which can be seen and which are not unseen. But if you really look at, there are like, you know, around 64 to talk about, around 64 planets that could be seen, and 44 planets which cannot be seen. This is the one of the crucial point which one needs to understand. These 64 reachable planets engulf and encapsulate whole of our human body. As a humanoid or human existence, if you really see, they work upon. That is the point which I want to stress upon. That is the first part. Coming to the second part of it, sun and moon's aspects come into being, which one needs to understand. What we are seeing today or every morning when you rise, okay, when you do Surya Namaskara, is one sun. Like these, there are 12 suns, so called Dwadasha Adityas. And if you think sun's exploration stops over here, sorry, ladies and gentlemen, understand this. There are umpteen number of suns existing in the world, which includes uni, omni, and multi. And umpteen number of moons across all the planets. What we are seeing is 9 planets, and we have taken into consideration those 9 planets only. But the fact being over here is there are n number of planets existing in the universe, which we don't know. And these are the 9 planets that govern this humanoid or human existence. The 72 male karta ragas, or combinations, which are maybe around to the knowledge, to the level of knowledge, maybe 150. And these again have permutations and combinations that get us connected to those billions and trillion stars. And here is where Dikshitar and Shyama Shastri's phenomenal works come into picture. That is the reason why it is very hard to reach to their levels. It is. And they have used Saptaswara, Saregama Padhani, Sa, Sanidapa Magaresa, to get us connected to those, those terrestrial existential planets. It's a very hard and harsh point, though, which one needs to understand. It's not as easy as it seems to be, which one needs to think. Even these 108 karnas, if you really see, all the dance postures or all the mudras or, Vedas, charis or whatever it is. These are this is one of the source that get us connected to that, which one needs to understand. This is again the beauty of Natya Shastra or 108 Karanas, ladies and gentlemen. And coming to the mythological characters, they again represent one of the nakshatras in the form, formally godly existence. To understand this, one needs to get to that formless nature. For formless nature being Saptaswaras. Understand this, ladies and gentlemen. It's like a cryptic language that gets us connected. That coding and decoding happens. The coding and decoding of Saptaswaras is what makes us get us connected to that to these nakshatras which I am talking about. As I said, the space and time consumption that takes place, say half an hour, 1 hour, 40 minutes, 20 minutes, 5 minutes, doesn't really have a matter over here. It's again like not a time bomb. It does not have any stipulated time as such. There is no time existence. The time dilation. See, there is a lot of difference between time dilation and time dilation. The time dilation, D-A-I-L, A-T-I-O-N and D-I-L-T-I-D-I-L-I-T-I-O-N. There is a lot of difference. Only difference is you remove A from it. From the philosophical front, I am talking about this. I am not talking from the what you call lexicographical front. Lexicographical front. Think about it. This is again the beauty of Vedas and Upanishads. However, they are further, like, as I said, 27 nakshatras and unseen moons and seen moons. Unseen stars and unseen planets and unseen galaxies. Dilation, D-I-A-L-A-T-I-O-N, dilation. If I talk about this dilation, this is where actually like human existence or the humanoid's time and space distance travel happens. When I talk about the dilation, Dilation, the time dilation, there this time concept does not come in picture. It becomes arbitrary, which one needs to understand. So this human existence which is there, all in all, comes with stipulated number of time dilation, not time dilation. But humanoid or human existence, what you call existence, is dependent on time dilation of the births. It's a very hard and hard concept, ladies and gentlemen. Now, if we see, as per astrology, 9 planets are recognized, and these are rulers of these and constellations. Though, if we see, or as we were talking about, Anu and Paramanu, where these two come together, it becomes a communion. Communion. When we talk about a terrestrial level, it becomes a communion of two different planets, and thus creating that energy and getting to the body, human. Thus it becomes spiritual communion here. Why spiritual communion? Because masculine and feminine are coming together. Anu is represented by masculine, Paramanu is represented by feminine, male or female. If we go at a highest level, this becomes Paramanu. Anu. Para means two terrestrial existence coming into picture, Prakriti and Purusha. When they come together, Ma is two energies coming together. Anu means both, all of them coming together and forming a block. Energy is thus released, and thus it comes to this. This is how Saptaswaras, when we pronounce, when we add A, E, I, O, U. And this is where Samavedas, like Gananam Tva Ganapatigum Havamahe Havamahe Kavim Kavinam Mupamashravastamam Jeshtarajam Brahmanam Brahmanaspata Anashrunvannutibhisida Sadanam प्रणो देवी सरस्वती वाजेभिर्वाजिनीवती ये एवं वेदा योपामायतनं वेदा आयतनवां भवति वायुर्वा अपं वेदा पुष्पमान् प्रजामान् पशुमान् भवति एवं वेदा. What am I doing? Or the scholars do. I am pronouncing these saptaswaras or these swaras or these alphabets to get connected to these nakshatras. Though logically, if we see, These communions can also be termed as mutations. From the medical terminology, if you really see this humanoid or this human existence, when that male and female intercourse happens, that sexual intercourse happens, these energy come together and that spiritual communion gets it. The reason is this human body is constituents of planets, panchabhutas, panchakoshas, panchagyanendriyas, panchakarmendriyas. Furthermore, this humanoid is all about establishing that connection with the terrestrial existence planets and the constellations. Though now let's look at the mutation concept from the genetics point of view. Why genetics? There is so-called gene. Okay, this DNA, RNA, and DNA, RNA, chromosomes, and if we talk from that viewpoint, this human body starts developing that. As I said, the constellations which happen at the Daiva Yuga level, this constellation, this energy transfer or whatever that happens, okay, as I said, that space and time travel, they get interconnected to that Daiva Yuga or Daiva Loka level, where Devis and Devatas exist. They are benefactors for human existence. Though, again, as I said, remember this is not that seen or there is no form. It is formless, basically. But for getting that, to understand that energy level, right, one needs to take the form. That is where Saptaswaras plays a key role. That is where 108 Karanas or Natya Shastras plays a key role. Now, Saptarishis were well aware of the situation that as the time lapse happens or as the time descends, it does not ascend, unfortunately. As the time descends, this Anu and Parmanu's concept will come into being. They have decided, they have thought it well before itself. Thus, mutations happen and thus new atom starts arising. Though this is the concept by and large, in case if we see Natya Shastra and these 108 Karanas in cross reference to mutation in the form of virtual connection taking place there. Get to understand this. We are getting virtually connected to those using these 108 Karanas or the Natya Shastra's shlokas, whatever it is. Metaphorical lines, rhythmic metaphorical lines that get transformed or translated to that metaphysical level, and furthermore gets to that metaphysics level. And these kinetics, whatever kinetic energy, kinetics in the sense like these mudras or postures or dance postures. So all in all, there is a scientific reason behind this. Today, the scientists, researchers, and medical fraternity professionals forget about these incidents or these activities and say amoeba or apes, etc., to be ancestors by humanoid or the human existence. It's not amoeba or apes or anyone. It is your thought, that formless nature of godly existence, which which is ever seen and ever existing, by and large, is what actually, like, gets us to understand that metaphoric language. That is the reason why I keep on telling, try to go beyond words, beyond alphabets, beyond lines. Go in between these lines. Though, if we see in Natya Shastra, it is talking about that Daiva Yuga and the planet's existence, taken as a reference point for the energy source for the human existence survival, though. There, here, the genetic study also being talked about. The point is, genetics of humanoid or human existence is dependent on the mutations at the highest level of terrestrial existence. To this day, nobody knows where the body's Atman goes or when it dies. If it dies also, how exactly, like, where it is going. And the truth is, he or she stays on the earthly existence till the time he's finished with his job, whatever has been decided for this life's existence. Whether it is son, whether it is daughter, whether it is father, whether it is mother, anyone. Even one day baby is also not spared for this. There are no exceptions to this. No exceptions. Now, one may and should definitely ask, what has Natya Shastra or 108 Karnas to do with this? Yes, there is a role. This Natya Shastra is all about your understanding your whole self holistically, and talking about the external factors and cofactors like Anu and Parmanu, which more or less talks about the communion of the communion, that spiritual communion and the existence. And after death, nobody knows what happens. Though Daiva Yuga, which is existing and continuing to exist, unlike other yugas. The four yugas are totally different. But this Daiva Yuga or Daiva Loka is one thing which is dynamic, where nobody can reach. If one reaches there, he cannot come. Here is the difference between the Daiva Yuga and rest of the yugas. Though in just a small line that divides in Daiva Yuga, that Sura and Asura aspect. And there no concept of karmic deeds. Understand this. However, they are the whole and sole beneficials for that planet or galaxy and the life, life's expectancy of the planet or galaxy in unimaginable way. Not only galaxies and planets, but even this humanoid or human existence. We are just one small, anu or small speck of dust among these, trillions in approximation. Even more, they could be even more, wherein you can't even count. So, still considered principal benefactors for the human mankind and human existence as well. Think about it, ladies and gentlemen. These so-called Devis and Devatas are considered to be supreme and supernatural power, which one needs to feel as an experiencer and experiencee. This is where actually 108 Karnas and Natya Shastra play a key role, ladies, as a whole. And those 72 male Karta Ragas also, and those Saptaswaras, and the combinations of the music. And that is the reason why music is divine in itself. So, the fact is that genetics, DNA, RNA, chromosomes, etc., are the present day or 21st century language of medical sciences, and if we take artificial intelligence, electrons, protons, neutrons, and photons, etc., etc., is the present day names given at present of 21st century. You don't know. You might even get to that nanotechnology. Nobody knows. Let's roll back or connect the dots in the ascending and thus come the ascending order. Connect the dots in the ascending order and then see the developments in the descending order. Ascending in the sense going back. Whatever incidents have had happened and whatever incidents that are happening in the descending order. So this earthly existence, when it was yet to be born, to tell the readers or audience, there is they are much advanced. This earthly existence was filled with gaseous form, poisonous gaseous form. Then humanoid or human existence was never there. If I go back to, maybe 200 light years, 200 or 400 light years and odd. Likewise, there is one more. There is one more beyond Daiva Yuga. Mula Virata Purusha I was talking about, right? That is furthermore, which is furthermore to this what you call 200 or 400, beyond that 400 light years. Think about it. So, this is the practical beauty and practical understanding of Natya Shastra and 108 Karnas, ladies and gentlemen. It's very hard for one to reach to that level, that highest level. Now, if we see the difference of 230 light years, let's take. It was the same setup of the same setup of the words. Uni, multi, and omni concept. Same setup. But as I said, universe is ever expansive. It expands by and large. Maybe numbers may change. And I am talking about the nearest level though. Here one needs to note a point that Saptarishis, Munis, or the philosophers or researchers in the medieval times had that yoga drashta, yoga drishya, yoga maya, yoga mahamaya, and yoga nidra aspect. And thus they have created this text called Natya Shastra and 108 Karanas in cryptic terms. Again, I say it is not Bharata Mahamuni who has written Natya Shastra. It is Saptarishi's text. It's a collective effort. I am ready for the healthy argument over this. So, Natya Shastra or 108 Karanas, if we really look at, no one can go beyond what you call 5,000 years or 50,000 years back. If one really wants to understand, they need to go beyond a point, maybe beyond 50,000 light years. They were way ahead of thinking. Today, artificial intelligence they are talking about, but that is what is called real artificial intelligence, not this artificial intelligence. This artificial intelligence is taking only what you call limited factors and cofactors, but they have taken that with this yoga dharana and yoga drushya and yoga maya and yoga mahamaya and yoga drashta and yoga drushya, they have created that humanoid or this human existence. It's not LLM or MLM or whatever. Here one needs to note a point that, and definitely would have existed, not sure what or which form. Nobody knows the form. Whatever forms that we are seeing in the temples, whether it is Kumbakonam, whether it is Chidambaram, whether it is Tirupangundrum, whether it is Tirupati, whether it is Madurai Meenakshi, whether it is Kanchi Kamakshi, out of my experience, whatever forms or whatever I was seeing, I felt that was not the real form. That is just a lineage. It is your inner feeling. Yet again, as I said, this Daiva Yuga is constant for the for that proof. In Mount Kailash, Kanchi Kamakshi, Madurai Meenakshi, Kumbakonam, Agnilingam in Tiruvannamalai. So one needs to have yoga dharana or yoga drishya or yoga drashta or yoga maya or yoga mahamaya or yoga nidra power. This is what is called true yoga, not the yoga with asanas or whatever. Antarmukha samaratya bahirmukha sudurlabha. This is what is called inner engineering. Here is where karma concept started. From the psychology or concept of consciousness evolved. And as I said, and say that benefactors or ancestors for the human existence was and will be Anu and Paramanu, which can be understood only through yoga nidra or yoga dharana or yoga. And this is, to understand this, Natya Shastra or 108 Karanas are the means which get us, directly connected. Alternate means is yoga, meditation, and other. So this is the beauty of Natya Shastra as a whole. Now, lineage, or how many centuries or decades or time have had passed by, and the human existence or humanoid, how many births he or she would have taken. I don't know. I, as Ramachandra in this 21st century, this is Ramchandra of 21st century. But if you logically see, this Ramachandra was XYZ, or some name, some other name, or maybe a dog, maybe an animal, maybe a tree, maybe or anyone, anything. So, if we see this very concept of karmic deeds are traveling along in parallel of the humanoid or human existence, thus karmic theology of the very human existence has been written. This is what I want to nail down upon. Now the universe is also becoming ever expansive. Whatever that you are seeing today, that galaxy or those stars, these stars are maybe 20 days back one. There is something new happening, already happened, that again comes back. The theology of human genetics started a very long time back. The music and dance form also have had many changes during the course of time, though. And Saptaswaras, along with Matrikanyasas, im, aim, aim, om, aha, kam, yam, lam, vam, ram, sham, sam, hum. So this makes these are what actually get this humanoid or human existence travel through this quadrillion light years and make it through to achieve the point of having smooth sail of existing life. Though this is the basic theology or basic phenomena or basic fundamental aspect of Natya Shastra or 108 Karnas, if one deep dives and delves into the subject. So, however, the human existence commit mistakes. They are bound to, because this human existence or this humanoid in the present birth, they are supposed to, because they need to bear the previous birth's karmic dates, right? That's what I want to point out. The conjunction point of, Prakriti and Purusha aspect, which he or she would end, will not be aware of. He will not be aware of. But they happen just like that, randomly. So there are two out of billion population births that have this idea. They are those what you call realized souls like Ramana Maharshi, uh, Ramana Maharshi, Shirdi Sai Baba, or you know, to name a few, Kanchi Paramacharya, Jagat Gurus. They are no ordinary. They are no ordinary. They have supernatural powers. Understand this. So, and it is only appeasing or preying on these yoga nakshatras and the nakshatras who rule this earthly existence by and large. Thus, these 108 karnas or Natya Shastra help one and all to reach them using the science of sound or vibration aspect. Now, this is the beauty of Natya Shastra and 108 karnas, ladies and gentlemen. Think about it. It's a very hard concept, but you need to digest this pill. Thus, I conclude this video with a positive note. Stay blessed and have a real bliss. May the Guru's grace be with one and all. पूर्णमदः पूर्णमिदं पूर्णात् पूर्णमेवावशिष्यते पूर्णस्य पूर्णमादाय पूर्णमेवावशिष्यते ॐ शान्ति शान्ति शान्तिः. Stay blessed and have a real peaceful life. May the Guru's grace be with them, one and all. Loka samasta sukhino bhavantu. Sarve jana